Well, hi everyone. I'm John Ritland, back with another double review. Earth and Blood, Rich in Love. They're two Netflix originals. Earth and Blood was shit. It was a French action flick that was absolute goddamn shit. Rich in Love actually wasn't all that bad. And oops, I just spoiled how I felt about these movies. So yeah, spoilers from here on out, like any of the multi-movie reviews that I do. So, Earth and Blood, you have a, drug heist that goes tits up. They steal some drugs. A bunch of these guys steal some drugs from a police station. Oh, it's in France, by the way. It's in French with English subtitles. Probably should have said that right there because yeah, this drug heist doesn't go all that good. And they talk to the brother of one of the criminals, and they say, "Hey, you work at a sawmill in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Store it there in the vehicle that nobody's gonna bother looking for, except if they look underneath this little tarp that you put over the vehicle, like the boss or like anybody else that works there. And eventually we'll come get it, and in an undetermined amount of time, because nobody's gonna possibly wonder why there's a bunch of criminals in all new vehicles rolling up on this little village to try and find out where this isolated sawmill is. No, nobody can figure that out at all except anybody that's seen a goddamn movie, and anybody that can maybe recognize it. Oh yeah, these guys aren't from around here and they're probably criminals. So the guy that owns or at least runs the sawmill, Saeed, he is dying of cancer. He has a deaf daughter that he takes care of there, and he also finds out that, oh wait, one of my employees, a guy that I helped, is storing these drugs here. So he decides to lock that guy away, and he shoots one of the guys that's from this criminal organization or criminal group. And then the rest of them descend down, and we get a lot of violence, we get a lot of bullshit and everything, and everybody gets shot, and we get a guy's arm sawed off during a sawmill, a little sawmill scene, which was nice. This is while the sawmill was burning down, by the way. Apparently, these criminals stored all these supplies, gas, and everything in these vehicles. And despite that, they can't take down one guy. And it's taking inspiration from Rambo and any other action flicks that are out there. And look, this is as cliche as it can get. It's 80 minutes, yet there are slow-mo, there are, a lot of drawn-out sequences of guys just sneaking around and stuff like that. It was just lame. It was really fucking lame. And I'm willing to give chances to just about any movie, especially if it's a foreign movie, because sometimes foreign movies can actually be pretty damn good. I managed to watch a few, especially Netflix originals, that were pretty goddamn good this year. Live Twice, Love Once was pretty damn good. This wasn't. I mean, in action movies can actually be kind of fun, even in a foreign setting, but good lord, this is as cliche as possible, and everybody essentially dies. It's like this movie was cut down by 30 minutes, though, because everybody just suddenly dies. You get the main guy gets an axe in the back and in the heart, a la The Shining, and then the deaf daughter is with her dad, and then we hear a helicopter. The helicopter's coming. It looks like the guy's about to die, and then smash cut to credits. There you go. That's it. There's no redeeming qualities about this movie. It gets a fucking F. It gets an F. The deaf girl, she was fine. I guess none of the acting was particularly bad, but the movie just gets a goddamn F. So let's talk about something I actually liked. Rich in Love. It's a Brazilian movie set in Rio, and is about a rich guy named Tato, not Toto, because he does not hear the rains down in Africa, but he is a rich kid who wants to make it out on his own. He's lived a privileged lifestyle, easy for me to say. He finds out that this girl gets fired from his dad's plant, or his dad's work, because it's from a tomato farm to a tomato marketing campaign, stuff like that. It's an empire, and they're trying to come up with ways to do stuff. So he gets rid of one girl, Monique, as a way to clear a spot for his son. His son does not want to do that, wants to earn his way, but also his son falls for a woman named Paula, a very beautiful woman, very beautiful blonde, who actually has some endearing qualities about her, seems genuine with her role here, and actually does show the acting chops. The movie has a breezy feel to it. There's some musical interlude, not like a musical, but there's song stuff, like song montages and stuff like that. a point. There's some social issues that are touched on, but this movie is mainly kept at a breezy pace. At one point, because he's rich, he has this party thrown where it's a tomato party, and all these tomatoes are thrown, dumped from a truck, and they're fighting and throwing them at each other. And Paula brings up, well, wait, you're living in luxury, and there are people like starving out there, so maybe you really should consider that. Maybe don't have your head in the clouds. He falls for her and comes up with this great plan to have his best friend Igor, or Igor, not Igor. It's not Young Frankenstein, but Igor, he decides that, hey, you're going to pretend to be me to get this job, and I'm going to be your assistant. So we're going to swap names. It's like Freaky Friday, only for dummies. This is the worst idea, by the way, because this can't possibly end well, because it's his father's company. Everybody's going to know eventually that it is his, that it's his empire to inherit, and that he's been lying about this. And eventually the lies do catch up to him. There's some good stuff about him and Paula do fall for each other. And she's also trying to become a doctor, but she's getting harassed by the professor at the hospital, like very harassed in a very creepy way, kind of like Happy Death Day to You, if you remember that, which was a little bit creepy. Was it Happy Death Day to You or Happy Death Day? I don't remember. The whole point is the doctor's harassing her. It was kind of uncomfortable. And she's got friends that are, trying to tell her, hey, you need to tell this doctor off. Even if it costs you your job, you need to tell the doctor off. Like, at this point, he's going to keep doing it to somebody. And Tato also keeps trying to make this work, trying to balance the lies, trying to learn, his job and earn his way being an intern. But he's lived a privileged lifestyle, so he can't make a cup of coffee, can't run a copier, he can't do a lot of things. So some of this is played for, it's mainly a comedy, it's comedy romance. Honestly, the comedy doesn't always translate. Slapstick sometimes is hard to do. That being said, the acting's endearing. The film does have a breezy quality to it, so it certainly isn't all that bad. Is it cliched? Yes. And I certainly will not call this movie wholly original in any way, but at least with this, he does have a human side to him, and he means well. He realizes, hey, wait a second, there are people that don't have the advantages I do. Let me help out, like my friend, this girl that I befriend, the former assistant, girl named Monique. He wants to help her out. She's got a sister that she's trying to take care of. The sister's got a kid, and the sister's got some medical issues. He has Paula help. There's a lot of stuff interwoven here, in this simple plot. Eventually, there's a dinner, company dinner he's got to go to, and then also a luau. And all through this, his best friend, who's pretending to be him, the boss seduces him, basically. Or he kind of seduces the boss, yet she kind of falls for him, and this kind of... And the boss is at least 20 years older than the kid. Or maybe it just looks like that. Maybe that's just, because the best friend looks like he's maybe 19, and the boss easily could be 40, 45. Not that I'm judging. You can love whoever the hell you want as long as you're a consenting age. But it was a little bit odd. And there's some more comedy about, like, family, friends going, having to pretend, oh yeah, I'll go along with this lie. Eventually, Paula finds out. She's like, well, hey, you lied to me. Why would you lie to me about that? He wanted to see if people were going to like him for him or like him just because of his money. And she says, well, if you really want people to like you, you be a good person. Just be one. Be a good friend. Be a good person. She decides to leave her job and take a job in the Amazon for a year. He's upset because it's, basically the love of his life, even though he's at a young age. And then a year later, he's having a birthday celebration. Job's gone good. And suddenly there's a knock at the door. And, the friend brought somebody. Yes, Paula has come back, and they fall for each other again. Basically, she decided to come back and say, hey, you proved yourself. There we go. All right. So yeah, it's cheesy, but you know what? I can buy cheesy, and I can certainly buy a movie that isn't all that bad. So, B. I'm going to give a B to Rich in Love, because it meant well. Yes, cliched. Comedy doesn't always work, but you know what? I can appreciate a movie that has a good heart to it, and this movie does have a good heart. Even if you could kind of want to scream at the guy for the stupid ideas he came up with. Hey, he did it because he cared about somebody, even though that might raise more questions about what other lies he might have told. But you know what? Let's just excuse that. So yes, I'm going to be reviewing more Netflix originals, possibly Shudder originals, possibly Hulu originals. I'm going to be diving into a whole bunch of movies because there's fuck all else to do and theaters ain't opening for a while. So anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.